And now over to you, Sikander, all the way in Pakistan.
Thank you, Naeem. Thank you, Shweta. Am I audible enough? Okay, brilliant. Let me start my timer. I've been given 5 to 7 minutes to finish all these slides. Okay, brilliant. My name is Sikander Bizenjo. I'm the curator of Karachi, Hub of Global Shapers in Pakistan. The picture you're seeing here is the one I clicked, I think, almost a month ago in one of the rural villages in Nal, Pakistan. Let me walk you through what that picture is in a bit. So I'll be quickly discussing my presentation. I'll talk about Pakistan and specifically Balochistan province where we work, what, why, and how we work there, future perspectives, and a bit of takeaways. So Pakistan is a country in Asia. We are a country of 220 million people. We are bordering Iran, India, Afghanistan, and China. Let's go to Balochistan where we are working. If you see the map on the left side, the gray, reddish, shaded area, that's the Balochistan province. Just by looking at this map, you'll see Balochistan is almost half of country's landmass. Interesting fact, the landmass of Balochistan province is more than 8 times of Switzerland. So it's a massive, massive area. If you look at the map on the right side, where these blue dots are, these are the areas where we have worked so far, where we have actively engaged. If you look at the color of this map, the gray area, the grayish landscape shows this is a lot of mountains in this area. It's a very rigid, very arid terrain. Balochistan in general, in Pakistan as well, it's the least developed area in the country in terms of education. The literacy rate is terrible. It goes below 50%. And for female, it's even below 30%. Healthcare is in shambles as well. So this is a very sort of a vulnerable place to begin with. This is the terrain of Balochistan. It's exceptionally beautiful, but it's very hard to penetrate. It's very hard to travel through these areas. A lot of these places do not even have blacktop roads that you call roads. So it's a lot of off-roading in these areas. So let me go on what and why. What did we do in this pandemic and why did we do it? During the pandemic, when it started, we started a campaign called Balochistan Youth Against Corona, BYAC. It's a youth-led relief response system to focus and help the people in this marginalized province to sort of help them during this pandemic. We started with food supplies. Why food supplies? Because the government has imposed a lockdown and most of the people there are daily wages. So if they do not earn the daily livelihood, they will not have anything to eat. And to make the lockdown successful, how can they stay indoors if they do not have food? They will definitely come out. So we started by giving them food supplies. So far, we have given food supplies to more than 15,000 people across the province. Next is health. So Quetta is the provincial capital of Balochistan and was the epicenter of COVID-19 when it started. More than 200 doctors sadly have passed away because of COVID-19 in this very small population. So Balochistan is less than 6% of the country's population. And more than 200 doctors have already passed away. So we have been giving them kits, PPEs, all the personal protective equipment. More than 3,000 doctors have received kits from us so far. Awareness, so a lot of people, as I mentioned before, are not a lot of literacy in the province. So most of the people did not even know what COVID-19 is. They knew there's a lockdown, but they thought it's for political or security reasons. They did not know about the deadly disease or what is the security mechanism. So we told them, we gave them soap bars. So each family got 3 soap bars from us. And we told them how to use those soap bars and what are the precautions. We also gave books to areas where there was no internet. Sink it in, there was no internet in a lot of places. So I went to a village of 500 people 2 months ago. And I'm not kidding, the people in that village have never seen electricity, never in their life. So let alone internet. How did we do it? So the first and the foremost, our aim was to make sure that the volunteers or the champions that we have, the safety was our top priority. So we did not have a lot of internet to most of these villages and rural settlements. We relied heavily on the phone calls, telling them what the SOPs are, how to wash hands, how not to be close in the close proximity with the family. Make sure you keep the food at their gate and then knock on the door to ask them to take their food by themselves. Do not hand them over. We also empowered the champions. The champions are the volunteers that we call them champions because they were the ones who were going door to door and helping those people. we heavily relied on collaborations. We collaborated with the provincial government, with the local government, municipalities, a lot of stakeholders that are working on the ground, because we believe that we do not have to reinvent the wheel, as Shweta mentioned before, if the wheel is already there. So we collaborated and maximized our efforts. One of the major reasons that we got successful during this campaign is no alien intervention. No alien intervention is that when I go to a village, I'm an outsider. But if a local from the same village is empowered through us, we being the facilitators, they will be more relaxed and more comfortable interacting with that person, because they think they are from them. It's not a help from outside. It's not an alien help, but from within. We got global recognition. Paulo Coelho, one of my favorite authors, gave us a shout out on his Twitter that these young gentlemen and the people are giving books to rural areas, help them out. We also got featured by Bill Gates as one of the 7 unsung heroes during the pandemic. So Bill Gates sent a team of photographers and his team members to my village as well. This is the photo we got in the rural settlement that I was doing a flood relief drive. So what next from here? The pandemic is definitely, the cases are reducing. We are pivoting our resources in a more sort of a sustainable way as well. We got more than 100 active volunteers, more than 500 volunteers, but more than 100 active champions that are regularly coordinating with us. So we are now focusing on climate change and education. We are developing a model. We already raised funds for a 3-year sustainable period. We're developing a model to make it more sustainable. I'll share more. I think I just have 1 minute to finish. So what are the key lessons that we got throughout this time? So we have impacted the lives of more than 20,000 so far. It's just with a basic idea. How did we do it? What are the key lessons? Localization. I think localization is the key. For instance, I from Pakistan cannot build a product that is for Swiss market if I do not understand the Swiss market. Respecting cultures. So Balochistan is a tribal area, and we made sure that we respect the local cultures and norms. For instance, taking photos of the women was frowned upon. So we made sure we abide by the local cultures, not make fun of them. We empowered the local communities and made them the leaders. For instance, in your case, you can empower and appreciate your employees. You make them feel that their work is impactful rather than just being a cog in the big machine. We also made sure from the very beginning on how to pivot our resources. We were making a plan as we went into the pandemic that if the pandemic finishes, this is how we're gonna pivot all our resources to a better and sustainable way. And finally, the most important one was collaboration. We did not shy away from collaboration. We did not shy away for someone else to take the credit. We wanted to help, and we are still helping. This is all from me. I think I'm just 7 minutes now. So thank you very much. And I hope I managed to cover something. This is my email. That's my WhatsApp. And just like Naeem, I'm responsive on all the social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere you'll find me.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank all of you for joining us today morning. We really appreciate it. I know we're short on time, but as both Naeem and Sikander mentioned, we're always available for questions. You can drop a line on the chat and we'll try and respond. Otherwise, just drop us an email or a LinkedIn message and we're happy to chat. Thank you all so much. I hope this was a good start to your morning, and I'm handing it back over to you at IMD.
Thank you so much, Shweta, Sikander, and Naeem. I know that I'm inspired by your stories of mobilizing change, and our whole community can also take note of that.